the backup ninja, as
In
he
the
is
early
affectionately
days.
known. That is true. Kevin, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Nick, how about you?
I'm good. I was actually about to text super producer Drew over there to go find me an Adam Berg or somebody that does backups, and you just manifest out of thin air.
You know, it's what happens. You know, it's almost like Beetlejuice.
Right.
Say it too many times and we're just going to show up.
Well, it's ironic that you say it that way, because one thing we have not said this entire week on this show is backups. And I feel something manifested just now where you just came out of nowhere, and it made me think about backups. So let's talk about backups.
I'd love to. You know, it touches every aspect of the business.
It is so foundational to everything, yet so important to everything, from being able to recover a user file to completely recover an entire site from a ransomware attack. It literally touches everything, as you said. Give me your state of the union of where things are at right now, if you don't mind. And like, just big pictures. Doesn't have to be any crazy.
Oh no, it's exciting. Oh my gosh, is because there's so much.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start talking about all of these features, functionalities being built into an operating system, as opposed to, yes, you can bolt on, but there's challenges, there's difficulties that come with that. So when you start looking at being able to back up, or, you know, for starters, just take copies of data, replicate them, perform failover back and forth, set up archives off of that, running that to a secure cyber vault. I mean, all of this built in, point, click, done.
So what do you, I'm glad you said Cyber Vault. We talked about that a lot with Matt Trudwin previously.
Absolutely.
Back in May when we launched the new systems and everything. And then I think we talked about it more on further episodes. But, like, where does Cyber Vault differentiate itself from our traditional just flex and snap words of the ways that we would take care of some of those things?
Oh, well, one of the first things is, let's think about this from, well, threat landscape. Ransomware, bad actors, people get ticked off because something didn't go right for them. What do? They go to delete the copies. They want to go get rid of backups. They want to get rid of snapshots. Whatever they can do to get rid of the extra data or ways you recover your data, that is what gets removed first. This is just, I mean, it's built into ransomware as a service even. It's crazy. So if you can lock away a gold copy of your data for when that time hits, for when you're infiltrated, somebody gets ticked off, you've got to be able to ensure you've got a gold copy of the data. Now, ironically, we're talking about Cyber Vault here like it's something new. Funny thing is, we've been doing this... I mean, we're talking decades.
So full disclosure, I was using SnapLock in 2008 because we were a healthcare company and we had to keep copies of our database around for 15 years.
Imagine that.
Because of regulations and stuff like that. Anyway, no, so just to be clear, Cyber Vault is not a box.
No.
Right?
It's a reference architecture.
It's a reference architecture that we have custom tailored to ensure maximum amount of resiliency for any sort of backups, right?
Precisely. The idea of this is, when you look at ONTAP, it's a pool of resources that we give to a customer with which they can deploy the way their business dictates.
Yes.
Precisely the same thing with the Cyber Vault. They need to be able to protect their data and guarantee that it is recoverable the way their business dictates, not the way some vendor tells them, thou shalt lock it this way.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
So, I mean, how often do we see that in other spaces where you can only do it the way the infrastructure allows?
Right.
So give them the options, the ways to do it. And so with that reference architecture, customers aren't alone. They have a document, or they have directions, if you will, a map, so that they can deploy this the way they need to.
I look at this as how I just had a thought in my head and I blanked a little bit. Cyber Vault to me is one of those things where we can't sell you a Cyber Vault, a thing, right? But you already have all of the things you need to architect one in the ONTAP One license stack. If you have an ONTAP One license stack, that means you also have a box or multiple boxes that are storing your data already. You already have everything you need to make a site. This goes back to some of the early days of FlexPod, Kevin, if you remember that. Like, we had a lot of customers at the time that they had Cisco UCS, they had NetApp storage, they had Cisco switches. You have a FlexPod. And then we started, sort of purpose selling them. I think there is a point in time where we could get to productizing this in a way that we could deliver a single point solution like that.
Oh, it
I
could.
don't know that that's the right way to go forward with it. We certainly could. If we were another 3-letter company, we might do something like that. But I think at the end of the day, like, our customers are smart enough, they're engineering enough, they have all the tools that they need to put stuff like this together. What's next for CyberVault, I guess is what I would say. Beyond CyberVault, where do we go from here? Or have we solved all the world's backup problems?
Well, we're always going to have new backup problems, so there's always going to be something because everybody wants to get rid of them. But I'd like to challenge you with a art of the possible curiosity that I have.
Okay.
So we're talking about a reference architecture, right? It could get rather technical, but let's take this in a business direction first, or for a moment. What if you were to take this reference architecture, take it to your, call it, cyber insurance company, have them validate this? Hey, we've got guaranteed recovery. Think maybe you could get a break on your cyber insurance? I mean, this now becomes a financial conversation, not just a technical conversation. So
how prolific, I just thought of something. How prevalent, does every company have cyber attack insurance at this point? Like, what percentage of companies are you seeing out there that are actually investing in this kind of stuff?
It's almost becoming a necessity, because reality is this is no longer a matter of if we get hit. This is a reality. We will all experience some form of ransomware, whether it's in our business or in our personal life. Think about how many people have fallen prey to text scams or phishing, all of this. It's all out there. So reality is we need to apply these concepts not just in our business, but we need to apply this in our daily lives.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
At the end of the day, I think CyberVault's really cool. I guess I could say I was doing CyberVault back in the late 2000s. We would snap mirror to a secondary, and then we would snap vault from the secondary to a snap vault secondary, and then that snap vault secondary basically moved it into a snap locked volume, a worm volume.
The word which we shall not say anymore. Lock vault.
Well, I mean, it's better than the old Legato CDs we used to use. Man, who remembers that junk, right? Yay, TSM.
Yay! No, that's back when the backup guys, they were still down in the basement, in the dark where the mushrooms grow. Yes, I was down there. Yeah. And then we only got to come out when the restore was needed. We come out, do your restore, boom, boom, boom. You get your 15 seconds of fame, get back in your hole.
Get back in your hole. Yeah. Which I was more than happy to do. I liked being in the cold aisle. So I would just hang out in the data center all day. That's fine. It's probably why I have hearing problems at this point.
No.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
Kevin, it's a blast hanging out with you, chat with you, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for stopping by. Surprise visit as well for Mr. Hastcoat.
So good
Backup Ninja himself.
Take care, Nick.
Take care, Kevin.